What's up, guys? So I wanted to go to this video here. This is another Glenn Beck video, but he's talking with somebody. I don't know who this guy is that he's talking to, but the title of the video is how the radical left is driving us towards a much bigger crisis. And honestly, you put the whole war aside, you put all the adversaries that we have, whether if it's the Islamic regime, Iran, Ayatollah, all that stuff, China, Xi Jinping, the CCP, Russia, all that stuff, right? Whatever adversary you can think of. I think the adversary in your backyard is your biggest problem, which would be the left. And I'm not even talking about the left. I'm talking about the radical left, the people who cheered when Charlie Kirk got shot in the neck. Those crazy people, okay? And I don't know, I'm assuming that's kind of what they're going to talk about in this video, but I am interested in what they say. So let's get into it.
The feed went out on the Insider because we brought Gavin in as a guest, and he
ruined everything.
He said things that I've not heard necessarily said, on this program before. And then Rob says, our engineer says, the feed went out halfway through. And I said, that might have been God. But it's recorded. And so I guess we're going to post it later on after the show because you're very funny. You're very funny.
Thank you.
Yeah. Borderline criminal. But not borderline.
Yeah, I'm a criminal.
Yeah. It's good to see you.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
I'm happy for your continued success and for your health, honestly.
Well, that is a testament to America. I mean, cancel culture.
How low the standards are.
That's how desperate they are for entertainment. They'll take anyone. No, but if you're like a little woodchuck and you just keep chucking,
yes,
you can be canceled, you can be debanked, you can be on the no-fly list. But America America has an avenue for you if you just get your nose down and put in that elbow grease.
Sorry, side note. I don't know if you guys caught that or not, but I was drinking water. I thought the cups in the dishwasher were clean. That fucking cup is dirty, bro. That's so fucking nasty. Oh, golly. I fucking crack myself up, man.
I was debanked. I got fired from every job. I started my own network, Censored.tv, and I just do a show every single day with, hard work, lots of prep, and doing the things like you do with the chalkboard, talking about the Weather Underground and everything. Yeah. And then you start getting subs, and people will ride through the BS and find you. And that's not true of Canada. That's not true of Britain. It's not true of most of the West, where when you're canceled, you're canceled.
Canada, by the way, has gone insane.
Canada's in Europe. That's how you got to think of it as Britain. It's still part of the Commonwealth. So, yeah, they hate us.
It's not as crazy as it is right now. It is really, it's dangerous.
It's Jasmine Crockett. I mean, the Prime Minister's platform was I hate Trump, which is like saying to your parents, I hate it here, and slamming your bedroom door. Like 80% of Canada's economy is contingent on American business.
I know.
You don't have to love the guy, but you got to shake his hand.
What's going to happen here in the next election and 28? Do we continue down this path, or do we go back?
No, we got 2 more terms. We're cooking, buddy. We got Vance next. We got Don Trump Jr.
Do you think it works?
Yes.
Oh, man.
It's slow and sluggish, but
how?
We're getting there. What we do is we concede. Trump's a deal guy. So we sit down with the radical left murderers and say, you get New York, you get Baltimore, you get Chicago, you get L.A., we're taking back the rest of the country. You get New York State, you get California.
Kind of what he's doing here in New York with Mamdani.
Yeah, fine. It's a write-off.
Yeah.
You got to take it on the chin.
Yeah, but
New York is a done deal. It's going to be the South. It already is. You should see the way that young thugs, and I'm not...
Dude, New York is so sad, bro. But I didn't think about that. I mean, if they just write them off and let them have their own areas, I mean, maybe that is a way to getting around it. But I see what they've done to New York, and I'm like, bro.
That's not an epithet for blacks. This is
like Like I've never been to New York, but I've always wanted to visit. But now I'm like, I'm never gonna go to New York. Like I never, bro. There's no fucking way. I don't even I would love to go visit California too, but I'm like California's a little bit different. I don't think California's as bad, but
residents of New York of all races, the way they talk to cops, screaming in their face, like they yell at cops the way you yelled at your sister when you were 13 about the remote.
Wow.
Zero fear. I can't say the words on the show, but imagine the worst words ever repeated like nose to nose and threatening to sue.
How do the cops stay? Why do they stay?
Well, there's a whole new breed now. All the cops, they've retired en masse. All the top brass left. Now they have these new recruits. The starting salaries are nuts. Back in the Giuliani days, a starting salary was $15,000 for a cop. Wow. You had to live with your parents. Now it's like starting salaries of 60, 70. So you get these poor kids, blacks and Puerto Ricans are pouring in. And 60, that's going to be weird.
Bro, that's what is that in New York, bro? That's nothing, dude. Like, that's like minimum wage in New York.
Calling the cops racist when it's blacks and Puerto Ricans doing all the arrests. But it's no longer white. There's been a white flight from the NYPD.
Is there still the same values of the cops? I mean, I think it was Atlanta that was talking about going in and hiring convicts to be cops.
They did. Remember there was that guy who got killed for sleeping with the dude's girlfriend? They found out that most of the cops were gangsters' disciples.
Yeah.
That they're gang members now.
What?
They've infiltrated.
That's happening here in New York.
I don't know if it's happened here in New York, but I do know a typical story was like at NRPD. This is New Rochelle. The dispatcher was caught on Facebook supporting Black Lives Matter and anti-cop rhetoric. I mean, a lot of these people that work in the administration are cop haters, and that's the beginning of the end. If there's no law, then there's no order. If there's no order, there's no property value. There's no schools, and we're in Cape Town.
It's terrifying. But you think we survive it?
America survives by parsing out bits. We've had a national divorce.
You know, here's the thing. I refuse to pay for California's mistakes. I refuse to pay for Washington State's mistakes. I refuse to pay. I don't live in these. I'd love to live in New York City. It's bat crap crazy. I've always wanted to live in California. The weather is great. There's no insects.
It's
Leave your windows open. It's paradise. But they've destroyed it, and they are driving it into the ground. You can't do business. I don't live in those places because it's crazy. I'm not paying for their mistakes.
That's the next step. Is you tie the skin tag with a dental floss and starve it, and eventually it'll fall off.
You know what?
We're done with them. You know, Nick Oakes, it was a guy, he was a Proud Boy that was arrested on January 6th. He was exonerated, but he said something brilliant. He goes, I have one fix-it for America, and it is everyone gets a living wage. You get a salary, you get $40,000 a year, we will pay it as a taxpayer. There's one caveat, you sign away your right to vote. And they're already getting a living wage, half of these people. Once you
get a living wage, but you sign away your right to vote. Honestly, that's a very good idea. Like, I've never thought about that. That would be kind of crazy. The only thing I see, though, is I can already start to see people running on shrinking the living wage, shrinking it more and more. Oh, we have all these voters who work hard, and why are we subsidizing these? You know what I mean? I can already kind of see it. But if it were to stay like that, I don't know. I mean, I could see a lot of people say, you know what, screw it, I'll do it. I don't really care about politics anyways. I just, you give me a limited wage, I can go do whatever I want. Okay, cool. Huh, that's crazy.
Do that, all these cities start turning red, and we get our country back. It's one
I have to
gesture.
tell you, I think that is the most brilliant idea I've heard in a long, long time.
For real.
Oh
America's
my
solved.
Gosh. Oh my gosh, that is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Let me ask you, going back to the conversation I had with Piers, and I said, I'm afraid of even people on my own side, in my own country, because there are radicals that have, on both sides, but the right is becoming this crazy, unexplained. I understand you don't like the war with Israel. You don't like Benjamin Netanyahu. You don't like their policies, whatever. But it has become this crazy Jew-hating thing that I just am shocked by it.
It's not fringe anymore. I don't know about your friends, but
a lot of people do not even realize, if you really look into the details, Israel is fighting our war. Like, we get so much benefit from this war in Iran. And obviously, Israel is benefiting from it too, but people are like, oh, we're fighting Israel's war, I'm going to actually release a video and from the, oh man, I can't remember that guy's channel now. Proficient Thinker. Oh, I hope I didn't butcher that. I might have got it wrong. But anyways, his videos are so good. But he breaks down step by step exactly how we are fighting this war Israel's fighting this war for us. Like, it's crazy, dude.
But it's my friends.
I know.
It's people that I hang out with. My own friends call me Goyven now. And say I'm cucking for shekels.
Top boy.
And
wow.
It's just like Scientology. Like, I get their arguments, and if you go to Israel, go to Tel Aviv, talk to some liberals, you'll hear the same anti-Semitic arguments.
Yes.
I'm not against people being against Netanyahu and wars.
Me neither.
You see that in Israel. You see a huge spectrum of views about Jews. You see a lot of anti-Semitism in papers like...
The issue with Bibi Netanyahu is it's his philosophy, okay? He believes the only way for Israel to be truly safe is if Israel has no adversaries in the area. Well, there's a lot of people who don't like Israel. There's a lot of countries in the Middle East that don't like Israel. So Bibi's his solution is war. That's the issue. He doesn't want peace. He wants no enemies.
Threats over there, right? So I can tolerate that. I'm fine with that. But this is different. This is Scientology.
Explain how it's different.
It becomes a crutch. It's a funnel for everything.
Yes.
Everything. At one point, here's an example of the funnel. I said Japan could do with some Catholicism. They would thrive because they're good at little rules and rituals and stuff. Latin Mass would be perfect up there. And I got all these guys going, oh, yeah, Japan, that's what they need. They need to go worship a Jew. What? It's like, wait, no. Weren't they called the Matzah Like, it's supposed Catholics and are all Jew lovers now? They're worshiping because he's Jesus Christ? Like, so promoting Catholicism is now cucking for shekels. Every war is Jew-based. And yes, they're overrepresented in media and everything. Go check out how they're overrepresented in chess and what's the prize for mathematics? The Nobel Prize, but also the Fields Medal. Go check their representation in medicine. Your quadruple bypasses. How many Jews are doing that? Sorry, they tend to have high IQs and they get into places where there's good money like media and finance and law. That's just the way it is. And there's something else going on here. I find that there's a underpinning of anti-whiteness in it. It's like white people you're allowed to hate.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like a pressure cooker, right? You can't be racist, can't have hate. But you can hate whites. And you can hate the elite whites. So when there's a war that's white on brown, which is Israel versus Gaza, drink in the hate. Parade around these streets of New York City and say, global intifada, wave the Palestinian flag in the Kafaya, river to the sea. You can finally enjoy your hate. It's kind of demonic, really.
I think it's really demonic. I think there is, in the old days, we would have said a good portion of our society is possessed because they're not. How do you say I am for LGBTQ and I'm marching for the Palestinians? They'll kill you. They'll kill you in Gaza. They'll kill you for so many people to be waving the Iranian flag. You don't have to like the war. You don't have to like Trump. You don't have to. But that's different than saying I want the mullahs to win. Are you out of your mind?
Yeah, and they're going to say, oh, Glenn and Gavin were saying you're not allowed to criticize Israel. They
criticize it all you want.
And I'm like, I'm fine with that. What I'm not fine with is we're at a hunting lodge. It's 1 a.m. We were just playing beer pong with the guys, and you take me aside by the fridge and go, I got it, Gavin, I don't understand why. You don't understand why they run the media, they run the banks. And I'm like, dude, it's 1 a.m. at a party. Can we not get, it's Scientology. It's like L. Ron Hubbard again and again. You want me to get my ohm meter and test my, whatever the Scientologists call it, your past wrongs that you have to cleanse.
Yeah.
You got to go full clarity. Like, I like what Mike Cernovich said. He goes,
like, I watched the video, this is the side, I watched a video of Sneeko getting punched in New York just by some random crazy dude. You know, and he was probably the Jews. I'm like, oh my God. It has become an obsession for most people, bro. I'm not gonna lie, dude. It has become an obsession. Like, everything is the Jews. And I'm like, bro.
I'm happy to talk about Jews in Israel. Can we do it once every 2 weeks? Like, can I have a break? You should see my cop chats. These are mostly retired cops. And it's just like Israel, Jews.
How did it happen?
Well, my theory is, and it's everyone's getting their yeah-yeahs out, because before Elon bought Twitter, you weren't allowed to say any of this. And so imagine a society where you couldn't say the F word, or even this radio program. All of a sudden, the FCC said swearing is permitted. And you would be mother effing and C-wording and just going nuts to get it out of your, because you can finally. Yeah. So I think it will dissipate. But it's, I hope, because there's no real logic.
I think it will. I think it's getting old, honestly. I think most people are like, okay, we get it. Like, yeah, so.
Do it, right?
No, it's the sign of a death of a civilization. That's the canary in the coal mine. You know,
well, they've been kicked out of 100 countries or whatever. Britain is kicked out of 80 countries, and they were kicked out for success. I've been fired from every job I had. When you're exceptional, people don't want you around. Well, like the Ugandans in, where were they, in the Congo? No.
This dude is funny. I don't know who this guy is, but we'll have to look him up.
Oh, they were in Uganda. Yeah, sorry. The Indians in Uganda. Idi Amin said, these guys, they own everything. I want them out of here. So they were booted out, including, by the way, Mamdani's dad. He was one of those Indian elites who was booted out of Uganda for being too successful. And now Zoran is mimicking it here in New York, where he's talking about tax the whites and tax the rich.
I've only got a couple of minutes left. Let me ask you about the shooter. I said on Monday after that happened, this guy's not evil. This guy might be doing evil. I think he was co-opted by evil, but this guy actually thought he was good. He's scarier than evil. It's scary. It's much more scary.
Yeah, like that was very eye-opening when you read that dude's manifesto. He was like, "Look, I'm sorry. Like, my family's gonna hate me for this. People are gonna be upset. People are gonna be ashamed of me. But I don't know what else to do." He literally thought he was doing God's work, bro. Like, that is crazy to me. Like, that was very scary. I'm like, this dude had remorse for what he was about to do, but he's like, if I don't do this, then the country's going to burn. And I'm like, that's 1,000% brainwashed.
Less scary to say, oh yeah, that guy's crazy, that guy's evil. This guy actually thought he was doing good, made a case for doing good, but again, it's the society just washing over people day after day after day, convincing you of these things until you... I mean, most Germans who were Nazi members, they didn't think they were evil. They thought they were doing the right thing.
Right. There's a massive distinction that has to be made with right-wing violence, in quotation marks, and left-wing violence. Right-wing violence is the things they lump in with us, National Socialists, who murdered Jews in a synagogue. And they're like, that's like you, right-wing violence. No, that's not like me, but Cole Allen is like you. Read his manifesto. It reads like an NPR podcast. It's all pedophile, rapist. That's a mainstream thing to say. Go talk to a liberal outside right now, and the first two things he'll say is pedophile, rapist. So their radicals are totally embraced by them and part of their culture. We don't, as I said on Piers last week, we don't know these radicals, and they are truly demonic. To go into a shopping center and start shooting blacks because they're black, that's not right-wing. I checked my book. It's not in there. Yeah. But Cole Allen just repeated your book. Yeah. And I think that's part of the plan. MK Ultra is too top-heavy, too much of a paper trail. I'm just going to throw out...
MK Ultra, that's what I was trying to think of. When I was saying brainwash, I was trying to think of what MK Ultra,
Pedophile rapist, until some lunatic hears about it. I'm going to call Charlie Kirk transphobe until some lunatic kills him, and then I have no paper trail.
Less than a minute. Piker is the next level to that. We've just been hearing this thrown out. Now he's actually just saying blood in the streets.
Yes.
Blood in the streets, which...
I want the streets soaked with the blood of capitalism. Or he says at conferences, he says, someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
And then everyone giggles and laughs. He wasn't talking about shovel your driveway after a blizzard.
No.
He was talking about murdering President Trump. And it's mainstream to them.
Thank you for thinking for yourself and being part of a movement.
Guys, what a banger video, like always, man. Glenn Beck and then whoever this dude is great. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.